What's up, boys? UFC 317 happens this weekend, live in Las Vegas. Topuria versus Oliveira. And if you guys have been on TikTok, you've of course seen the fucking edits, bro. The edits have been doing all the promo for this card, especially Topuria Oliveira. I mean, I've seen so many Black Eyed Peas, Rock Your Body fucking edits that I'm going to make an edit sooner or later. Try to before this event happens, but it's going to be different. But it's going to be out Topuria Oliveira. But again, besides that, it happens this Saturday, dude. This is going to be fucking so hype, dude. This is like probably by far the biggest fight of the year so far. Bigger than Dricus du Plessis, Hamzat Chimaev, I think by a mile. Topuria Oliveira is just going to be a generational fight. Generational banger, dude. I mean, this either ends two ways. Topuria slimes him in round 1 or 2, or Oliveira overcomes the adversity and finishes Topuria. And it's going to be fucking crazy either way. But the UFC, bro, they were lazy with this card. I mean, as soon as they put Topuria Oliveira on this card, they just didn't want to put any effort into any other fight. I mean, yes, they did get Pantoja and Kai Kara France. I was about to say Kaya Sakura. But they did get them on this card, but it seems like the other fights, they didn't really cook them up that much. I mean, Beneil Dariush versus Hanato Moano is a fight that's been canceled that they remade for this card. That actually is going to happen, and it isn't probably going to not happen on one day's notice. But again, UFC 317 this Saturday, my brother. I wanna dance in the light. I wanna rock you. Whatever how the fucking song goes, bro. That shit's stuck in my head. I've seen too many fucking edits of that song with Topuria Oliveira. I want to try to learn how to make edits now. But again, let's get on with the fight predictions. Okay, if you know how this goes, we're going to predict every single fight from the early prelims all the way to the main event. Detailed prediction on every single fight on the card. And this card, it starts off a little horrifically. Chris Eert versus Jackson McVey. This is both their UFC debut. Jackson McVey is going to win. I don't know why Chris Euert's the favorite here. Chris Eert has a style when you watch this man fight. You cannot imagine this man fighting UFC level. I mean, Chris Eert, every fight that I've seen, his last fight against something Williams, he fights in a certain style where he looks like he's not going to win. He looks reckless on the feet. Stiff as a fucking board. Straight shots down the pipe will end this guy. But his nickname is the Tank. So, I don't know. I'm guessing its style has worked for him so far. But I think Jackson McVey is definitely the more technical guy, the more skillful guy. The guy that's actually going to land the bigger shots in this fight. This guy is actually going to land the crisper shots, the cleaner shots, and definitely going to get the way of the judges if this fight does go to decision. Chris Eert, on the other hand, he's just going to march forward and try to melt his opponents and just trying to impose the pace on his opponents. But this guy's going to decision with jobbers outside the UFC and what is it? Fury FC. And going to decision with jobbers and Fury FC and not looking impressive is not good. Not good if you're going to the UFC, especially for your UFC debut against another guy who's actually fought on a better promotion as the LFA and actually looks like he has striking and has an ability to fight effectively in the UFC. So I'm going to go with Jackson McVey. Jackson McVey by decision. Picking the underdog here. That's my first pick, Jackson McVey. Both on the UFC debut, both going to try to make a statement, but I think Jackson McVey is going to outclass Chris Eert because Chris Eert looks like he should have never won a fight ever in his life. And he just finishes people that are just jobbers outside the UFC, people who are just not good, not UFC level. And a lot of people that he fights, especially the last guy he finished with the body shots, man, looked like he did not look like a fighter. He looks like a guy that would get crumbled by a body shot or knocked out. And Chris Eert, again, just going to march forward, try to put the pressure on Jackson McVey, but I think Jackson McVey is going to see right through that, land shots down the pipe, land body kicks. Overall, just outclass Chris Eert here from the first round all the way to the third round. Again, this is a short notice fight, more notice fight for Chris Eert. Chris Eert, kind of a fat, skinny, fat, heavy middleweight. Not really in shape. Could be a really good, probably could be in fit welterweight, but This is on ultra short notice for him. So let's see. All the odds are stacked against him here. I don't know why he is the favorite, even though Jackson McVey is clearly the better striker and the better fighter. Fought better competition, of course. And yeah, I got Jackson McVey by decision. Moving on. Jada Denise versus Alvin Hines. Alvin Hines is an operating engineer, day by day. Shout out to my blue collar brothers out there, but Alvin Hines, man. I mean, he's just. I mean, with you can only be a blue collar guy and fight as a hobby in the heavyweight division, because heavyweight divisions are not skillful. The heavyweight division is not skillful. It's not that skillful in the UFC. I can only imagine how shit it is outside the UFC. Alvin Hines' last fight was a big head kick KO over some even fatter guy than Alvin Hines on LFA via head kick. I mean, Alvin Hines, he does look like he's just like a regular guy, a regular just blue collar dad. Goes to work, comes home, fights in the meantime, maybe punches the bag a little bit in the garage. And then he decided to take a couple of jiu-jitsu classes, and then, and he started scrapping in the gym, and then now he's here, UFC debut. It just shows how this billion-dollar company has just taken a shit. Alvin Hines, short notice, and, I mean, he's not a full-time fighter. So, versus a guy who is. Jada Denise was in Glory Kickboxer. And this just shows to the striking that this man is capable of. Glory Kickboxer has some wins in Glory. Of course, knocked out Austin Lane, which is not really a big accomplishment, but a knockout over Austin Lane is bigger than any knockout that this fucking blob on the right-hand side here has ever got in his career. So, obviously, the no-brainer pick here is Jada Denise, actual fighter, fought in Glory. Definitely a more in-fit heavyweight. Definitely a lot more in shape. Probably better cardio, better striking. Alvin Hines just coming in here, just ultra dad bod, ultra dad strat, ultra just regional MMA fucking absolute jobber that somehow made it to the UFC, because the UFC heavyweight division is so shallow and just looking for anyone in the heavyweight division outside the UFC to try to make this motherfucker more interesting. But 74 inches of reach as a 6'2" man in heavyweight is not good. I have a 72-inch reach, and this man only has a couple inches on me, and he's 6'2", and he's facing somebody who's a Glory Kickboxer with a 5.5-inch reach. And yeah, man, honestly, murder from Jada Denise. That's all I gotta say. It's either a brutal beatdown decision, because it's his heavyweight, and again, he is a Glory Kickboxer, but again, you never know. A lot of these fucking fights go to decision because they're just so fat and so unathletic. But Jada Denise, former Glory Kickboxer, and he's gonna put on a masterclass. Not masterclass. He's just gonna run through Alvin Hines. And yeah, Alvin Hines goes on to get another fight in the UFC, gets absolutely smoked. All right, Jada Denise kills Alvin Hines. First or second round KO. Another murder on the card. Jacoby Smith versus the victim, Nico Price. I mean, Nico Price, he does have the Geodude build, the super long arms for being 6 foot. And but again, Nico Price is the guy who took a fall or got knocked out against Robbie Lawler in Robbie Lawler's last fight. Man got slumped with the uppercut in the clinch from Robbie Lawler. Old, washed Robbie Lawler. Retirement Robbie Lawler. And they expect us to think Nico Price can mediocre this out and just absolutely have a mid-off performance that somehow is going to beat Jacoby Smith's power. Jacoby Smith on a fucking knockout streak, bro. A lot of his wins end in the first round by knockout. And yeah, man, we're not going to see anything different here, bro. We're going to see murder on TV. The Dodo Bird has come back. Lucas Tracy reference there. The Dodo Bird has come back. Nico Price and Jacoby Smith, the Velociraptor, is going to absolutely murder Nico Price in the octagon. Jacoby Smith. No, I'm death. All right, this is actually a hardcore MMA fans best fight on the not the best fight on the card, but definitely a fight that all of us at hardcore MMA fans are gonna watch. Terrence McKinney versus Vyacheslav Borchev. Terrence McKinney has the wrestling, has the crazy striking on the feet in the first round. Crazy dangerous in the first round. And overall in the third 3-round fight, he is dangerous with the wrestling. He can't smudge this to a decision because Vyacheslav Borchev has just failed to show any other levels in his game when it comes other than the striking. I mean, he does get. I mean, man got dropped by Chase Hooper, and 8-5 in the UFC. Yes, he put on a good performance against Sadikov, but again, Vyacheslav Borchev and his recently, it just does not look good, bro. And it's just honestly, he's older, just getting frailer day by day, year by year, every fight. And Terrence McKinney, someone who's dangerous. I wouldn't doubt it if Terrence McKinney drops Vyacheslav Borchev and finishes him a ground and pound. But again, Vyacheslav Borchev, I do not trust Vyacheslav Borchev. I don't think the odds are big enough in this fight. I think Terrence McKinney should be a 2-1, 2.5-1 favorite. Because Vyacheslav Borchev, it seems like now he has really lost a pop on his shots. Seems like he can't really hurt anybody. And if he gets behind in a fight, it's going to be really hard for him to come back because he's going to have to show more output. But again, he doesn't have too much pop in his shots where he's actually really going to hurt anybody. And yeah, man, I got Terrence McKinney by knockout in round two knockout for Terrence McKinney, or the first round. I'm going to go first round knockout by Terrence McKinney. Terrence McKinney is just going to probably just walk through Vyacheslav Borchev. Terrence McKinney has the physicality. Terrence McKinney has the power. Terrence McKinney has mainly this overall MMA skill. Vyacheslav just has the kickboxing skill. But Terrence McKinney, he can mix it up. He's going to lock in for this one. And he's going to, if he can't get it done on the feet in the first opening minutes, he's going to get it down on the ground. And, yeah, man, that's the overall. Sam, yep. Moving on. Terrence McKinney by knockout. Viviana Roujo versus Tracy Cortez. I mean, the odds makers are here are obviously Gooners. Because Tracy Cortez fights once a year. In the last 3 years, this is going to be Tracy Cortez's third fight in the last 3 years. She fights once a year. And obviously in her last fight, Rose Namajunas, I don't know if you guys remember, she got a fake eyebrow knocked off her face by Rose Namajunas. Just shows what really she has what really where her head's at when it comes to her UFC career. To her, it's just mainly just a brand builder for herself, not really like a full-time fighter per se. Because yes, she's ranked number 10 in the world in the women's divisions, I believe. What is this? Yep, number 10. And ranked number 10, fight once a year. And honestly, dude, I don't know why you're getting so comfortable fighting once a year, man. Once a year fight. You know, it's going to be hard to try to get that feeling back again because it's been a year since you last fought. And Viviana Roujo has been active. She has been active. She has 2 fights. I think she had 2 fights. 1 fight earlier this year already. Her second fight this year. And she's probably going to fight again towards the end of the year. But Viviana Roujo, she is active. She doesn't have ring rust. Oh, yes, overall, she probably is the worst fighter. But I think, again, Viviana Roujo is going to win a close 29-28 decision over Tracy Cortez. But again, Tracy Cortez is the more popular fighter. She is the more, come on. You know, everyone knows why Tracy Cortez is popular. Everyone knows why Tracy Cortez has the following she has. Everyone knows why, for some reason, a number 10 ranked women's flyweight ranked fighter has over like 1 million followers on Instagram. We all know why, my brother. We all know why, brother. Brother, we all know why, brother. We all know why, because we got some gooners in the chat. We got some gooners with the odds makers. We got some gooners at the UFC. Gooner judges that are honestly, if this fight goes to the decision and it's close, they're probably going to give it to Tracy Cortez. But honestly, I'm going to pick Viviana Roujo. She is 38 years old, but again, she's active and she actually is a fighter. Tracy Cortez, she is a fighter, but she is not focused on fighting really as her main goal in life. But again, she could get it done, outpoint Viviana Roujo with the boxing and being an overall MMA fighter. But Again, man, I think Viviana Roujo will somehow win. But Tracy Cortez does have a win over Jasmine Judavicic, which is a good win. A really good win. I don't know why I'm talking like this about a women's MMA fight, but I maybe just be interested into this matchup, man. It's a really deep matchup. It's just, I think I'm going to break this matchup down in a private unlisted video on my YouTube channel that I'm only going to send to my favorite subscribers, because it's such an in-depth fight, and there's just so much variety to Tracy Cortez's game, and it's just so amazing to watch. I mean, the top guard control, man, fuck. Anyways, Viviana Roujo, I want to pick her to win. But again, Tracy Cortez, she has a win over Jasmine Judavicic. And Viviana Roujo does not have a win over someone like Jasmine Judavicic. She has fought the competition like Natalia Silva, Alexa Grasso. But she's always come up short. She's always come up short against the top level competition. I'm flipping my pick. I'm going to go Tracy Cortez by decision, because over all the favoritism, the gooners in the chat that are going to be rooting for Tracy Cortez by decision. Moving on. And Hyder Amil versus Jose Miguel Delgado. Hyder Amil, obviously just an absolute scrapper. Absolute scrapper in this fight. Oh, in his past fights. Hyder Amil is coming out there. He's going to scrap, and he's going to go look for the finish. Look for the knockout finish. Jose Miguel Delgado is also kind of like not really the same type of fighter, but if he does face some sort of like scrappy exchanges, he will exchange with Hyder Amil. That's all I gotta say. He is gonna exchange with Hyder Amil. It's just who's gonna land the nastier, scrappier shots in the pocket. In my opinion, that's gonna be Hyder Amil. Hyder Amil is gonna land the crisp or the more powerful, scrappy shots in the pocket. Hyder Amil this is his fight style. Get into the pocket, swing big hooks, land big knockout punches, and he's probably gonna try to put Delgado out. Again, Delgado, he does have a good body lock takedown, and he could initiate the grappling in this fight, but I think Hyder Amil will get back up to his feet and try to win a scrappy fucking knockout finish. Try to get one at least, and Jose Delgado does have the range kind of on Hyder Amil here. Does have a couple inches of height and reach advantage. But I don't think that's really going to make that much big of a difference, because Hyder Amil is going to stay on the pressure. He's going to stay inside the pocket, and they're just going to exchange the whole fight. It's just really who's going to land the bigger shots for the judges. I think that's going to be Hyder Amil. And who do I think that is going to basically get cracked and probably break in this situation, because he's never really been in a big scrappy fight? I mean, Jose Delgado was getting touched up by a random jobber on the Contender Series in the third round. And it seems like when Jose Delgado is facing that type of adversity, especially when we're the Contender Series, he is open to those big combinations that I think Hyder Amil is going to go for. He's going to go for those overhand left hooks. He's going to go for those two hooks in the pocket back to back. Pop, pop. And Hyder Amil, I think he is going to win this fight. Under the underdog pick for me. Hyder Amil, I'm going to go third round TKO over Jose Delgado. Hyder Amil gets the W. Moves on into the featherweight division, and yes, another exciting prospect for the featherweight division. Hyder Amil I think he'll get it done in the third round by KO. Moving on. This is a what kid? What's the question? This is a badass fight. I mean, that was a terrible impression, but Jack Hermanson versus Gregory Rodriguez. So, obviously, the last time we've seen Jack Hermanson fight somebody like Gregory Rodriguez with the big power in his hands and just has that knockout power is, of course, Joe Pyfer in a 5-round fight. And the thing is about Joe Pyfer, like I said already, he just gets stuck up on one dimension of winning a fight, which is basically just getting the big knockout punch, getting the big knockout shot. And Jack Hermanson, yes, he does have a good chin. He does take some big shots off of Joe Pyfer. And excuse me. Oh shit. Jack Hermanson is going to be trying to win his plotty man or his light on the feet, calf kicks, mixing it up, crafty vet, 29-28 decision. But I think Gregory Rodriguez is going to be on the forward pressure. He's going to be mixing it up. Gregory Rodriguez is an overall MMA fighter, unlike Joe Pyfer. Damn, excuse me. Goddamn. Gregory Rodriguez, yes, he is going to put the forward pressure in this fight. He is going to initiate the exchanges. He is going to back Jack Hermanson up. And ultimately, yes, he could finish Jack Hermanson. Yes, he could just overall dominate Jack Hermanson. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably. But I do think Jack Hermanson is going to have some success in this fight, really. Jack Hermanson, he does have that crafty vet boxing. He does have that crafty vet mentality and that crafty vet IQ when it comes to fighting these big power punchers like he did against Joe Pyfer. But again, Jack Hermanson lost the first 2 rounds and won the last 3. And in a shorter fight, a 3-round fight, a more fast-paced fight, Gregory Rodriguez, I think he's going to land the bigger punches. I think he's going to get the more dominant positions. He's going to get the more dominant rounds. And Jack Hermanson, I think he's going to struggle trying to deal with the power and the pressure of Gregory Rodriguez. And overall, Gregory Rodriguez's mix-up of the martial arts. And I think Gregory Rodriguez is going to get it done by decision. I think he'll catch Jack Hermanson and probably put him down. But I don't think he'll finish him immediately. And Jack Hermanson will survive. So I got Gregory Rodriguez by decision. Yes, overall just wins a dominant victory, 29-28 or 30-27 for Gregory Rodriguez. Moving on. Woo! Felipe Lima versus Payton Talbet. So, we got Frank Ocean's boyfriend versus Felipe Lima, man. I'm going to tell you one thing, my brother. Do you think Payton Talbot moves up and beats Muhammad Naimov on short notice? Do you think Payton Talbot takes Muhammad Naimov's back, who is a pretty good grappler, and chokes him out? Do you think Payton Talbot is going to not get chinned somehow by Muhammad Naimov and just get outpointed and outstruck? Payton Talbot is going to karate combat after this fight, dude. What can I say? Payton Talbot, he's looking at the karate combat contract. And he's just like, I think you should take it, bro. Because honestly, Felipe Lima is so well-rounded in the martial arts. Yes, he does look kind of green on the feet, but again, he does land big shots. He does mix it up well, and I don't know what kind of camp he's had when it comes to if it's like a full grappling camp or a full overall striking camp to start kind of. Be able to stand on the feet and try to study what Payton Talbot does on the feet. But I think Felipe Lima is going to dominate this fight, man. He's going to dominate this fight. Payton Talbot suffering ego death from his last fight against Tony Barcelos. And I think Felipe Lima probably knocks out Tony Barcelos and dominates Tony Barcelos. Tony Barcelos is an old shell of himself. He's an old shell of himself, and he got a win over Payton Talbot. And Payton Talbot just got the first taste of like, you need to learn how to fucking grapple, kid. And do I think he's going to come back from that against somebody who has more dominant grappling and just has more strength, and he has more variety when it comes to striking on the feet, and is just overall a more dominant fighter in Felipe Lima? And a more submission threat in Felipe Lima. This man got up on short notice and beat Muhammad Naimov by submission. But he just got a tit for tat battle with Bogdan Grad, who is a good unranked fighter in the featherweight division. And Felipe Lima went out there and choked out Muhammad Naimov in 2 rounds, my brother. Oh, man, Felipe Lima's so good. I mean, I don't want to overhype Felipe Lima to where I think he's the greatest thing that ever happened in the bantamweight division. But I just think he's going to beat the fucking bricks up Payton Talbot when it comes to the striking, the grappling. And Payton Talbot's going to look like a bitch out there, man. So take the finger in the booty, from John Jones, from Frank Ocean, finger in the booty, from Frank Ocean. And honestly, Payton Talbot, you were cool until I found out you were gay. And that's not a bad thing, YouTube. That is not a bad thing. But Payton Talbot, I was just disappointed. Felipe Lima gets it done by whatever the fuck he wants. Probably submission in the second round. Moving on. Payton Talbot, go to karate combat, brother. Like, just like Rebellis to Spain, because, brother, you will not survive it in the UFC. Beneil Dariush versus Hanato Moicano. I cannot afford to lose. Hanato Moicano versus Beneil Dariush. So, this is an overall even fight. And again, what people aren't saying about this fight, or I guess especially MMA gurus and saying about this fight, Beneil Dariush can crack. He can crack. I mean, we haven't seen him crack in a while, but he does have that still in him. He can still crack. And Beneil Dariush had Charles Oliveira in guard. He was landing big ground and pound against Charles Oliveira. That's what people are forgetting about this. Beneil Dariush had Charles Oliveira he was in Charles Oliveira's guard, landing big ground and pound shots against Charles Oliveira, overall dominating that fight before he got finished. But Hanato Moicano, man, he's just on a different level when it comes to the grappling. And then I think people are sleeping on Hanato Moicano striking, dude. I mean, this guy at featherweight, man. This man beat the shit out of Calvin Kattar at featherweight. And I think Hanato Moicano striking is honestly better than what people think. I think Hanato Moicano is going to go out there. I mean, for as short as the Islam Makhachev fight was, he was going out there chewing up the inside leg, landing their straight right hands down the pipe. And of course, dropped Islam Makhachev in the first. No, I'm kidding. But Hanato Moicano, man, I think he's going to mix it up very well. When the striking, the grappling. Hanato Moicano's ground and pound, my brother, is so nasty, so dominant. His top control is so dominant as well. He rides anybody. Pause. But what I mean is like not the wrist rides, but is overall just the flowing of the grappling of Hanato Moicano is so dominant, and that people just can't really get out from under him. And he just coming off the last win in his so far was over Benoit Saint Denis, who has came back and looked pretty good against that random guy from Canada. Dominant win for Hanato Moicano. That last bout out with BSD, and I think he's gonna have a y'all must have forgot performance that I am the top prospect in the lightweight division right now. And yes, Beneil Dariush beat Mateusz Gamrot. Yes, Beneil Dariush hits hard. Yes, Beneil Dariush had Charles Oliveira in trouble in the first round when he was landing those big ground and pound shots. But again, Hanato Moicano, man, he's just different, brother. This man cannot afford to lose. Y'all must have not know. But Hanato Moicano, honestly, when I'm having a breakdown of this fight, I think Hanato Moicano is going to start fast. He's going to go out there with the inside leg kicks, chew up Beneil Dariush's leg. He's going to land those big shots down the pipe. Use those straight right hands, probably mix it up with the body kicks. I mean, Hanato Moicano, people forgot, man, this man can strike, man. He can strike, but more recently, we just seen mostly his grappling, and that's what he's most likely relying on. But I think for this camp, he's going to went back to mostly his striking. And that's going to really show in this fight, I believe. So I got Hanato Moicano by decision or by third round KO due to ground and pound. Probably hurts Beneil Dariush, gets him down on the ground, and lands big elbow, slicing them open, beating the shit out of him. And Hanato Moicano gets the dub, baby. Hanato Moicano by finishing the third round. Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van. Woo! It's just a crazy thought that Joshua Van could have a title fight after this, bro. I'm just thinking about Joshua Van fighting Pantoja for the belt. And that's honestly just a fight away from him. And Joshua Van, for him, this has to be obviously his biggest test. Obviously, the fight he wants mostly to win. I mean, he wants to win every fight. But again, this fight means everything. This fight is like, this is it. This is it fight, bro. And Joshua Van, what he has to do, not what he has to do, but what Joshua Van's thinking, bro, he's like, if I win this fight, man, I'm fighting for the belt. I'm right in there. I'm the number 1 ranked featherweight in the world. I'm fighting, even if I don't get the belt or a title shot, fighting guys like Brandon Moreno. I mean, he obviously is going to get the title shot in this fight if he wins, because the hype train of Joshua Van already is so big. But again, if he beats Brandon Royval, dude, on short notice, this motherfucker just fought. in June 7th on the O'Malley card. And then now he's fighting again 2.5 weeks later, I believe. Joshua Van is just so active, so in the game, so just absolutely just locked in. He's locked in. He's coming for everything. He's coming for it all. And honestly, I think Joshua Van's mentality is just going to be his biggest, like absolute, that's going to help him out the most, I believe. Joshua Van's going to come in here with everything to gain, nothing to lose. Nothing to lose, but everything to gain. And Joshua Van's going to put it on Brandon Royval. And he's possibly going to fight for the belt next. But when it comes to detailed prediction of this actual fight, Brandon Royval, this man can go the distance. This man went 5 rounds of Pantoja. He still looked fresh in the 5th round. But again, he just can't land anything on with his hands that looks deadly. So, Brandon Royval is the only thing I think he can win. He can either win by knockout or submission. And really what I think, the only way he can win by knockout is like a big flash knee on Joshua Van. Again, that could happen because Joshua Van is the shorter opponent. Joshua Van is the guy in the mostly boxing stance and sits lower to the ground than Brandon Royval because of the height difference, of course, but it also, again, Joshua Van's style of fighting. Brandon Royval can land that flash knee KO or that weird spinning elbow after getting dropped. Or he could jump on a guillotine after hurting Joshua Van and submit him. But again, Joshua Van, he just looks so damn good lately, bro. So damn good. So damn good. The boxing pressure, the forward pressure, the boxing, dude. The prep in the pocket boxing, the landing the 2s to the head and the 2s to the head and the 3-4s to the body, man. I mean, Joshua Van's is like his body shot investment is so damn good, and his body shot finding ability, the ability to find the body shot no matter where it's at, is so damn good too. I mean, honestly, Joshua Van's my GOAT. Joshua Van is my guy. So obviously I'm going with Joshua Van. So how I see this fight playing out is that Joshua Van's going to start fast. They're both going to start fast because this is a 3-round fight. Brandon Royval is usually used to those 5-round main events. And he's going to come out fast in this first round. And Joshua Van, he's going to find the 2 down the pipe. He's going to find the slip 2. He's going to find the overhand to the left hook to the body. Joshua Van's going to find those fucking awesome boxing combinations he always puts on people. And he's not going to melt Brandon Royval because Brandon Royval is a cardio machine. But Joshua Van's just going to out-tit for tat Brandon Royval. He's going to out-tit for tat him. And Joshua Van is just going to look so damn good. Joshua Van's going to look crispy on the feet. Everyone, after he wins this fight, everyone's going to think he's going to beat Pantoja. Everyone thinks he's going to fucking just be the second youngest flyweight champion of all time. I mean, how old is he right now? I think he's 23. I don't think they're going to tell me that. He's 23 years old. Young, active, everything to gain, nothing to lose. He's going to come in this fight with that mentality, and he's going to put a whooping on Brandon Royval. Brandon Royval, yes, he's fought Brandon Moreno, who's kind of has this boxing pressure, this boxing heavy style. But Joshua Van is so slick on the feet. Joshua Van is so... I'm not going to say Joshua Van's a better striker overall than Brandon Moreno, but this boxing is just the best, honestly, in the flyweight division. He may not have the heaviest hands, but he for sure has the best, the best boxing shot placement I've seen in the flyweight division. And he's going to find that body shot. He's going to find those hooks over the top. He's going to find those twos to the head and 3s to the and those 4s to the body. And he's just going to, man, he's going to do it, man. He's going to do it. He's going to win this, man. I can just sense it. Joshua Van by dominant decision, man. Or close. So I'm going to go 29-28. Joshua Van hurts Brandon Royval probably in the 3rd round. Almost gets a finish. And, yeah. my GOAT, Joshua Van, bro. He's going to fight for the title next, which is kind of crazy. Because I do positively believe he's going to beat Brandon Royval by decision. And overall, just outbox Brandon Royval. I mean, Brandon Royval, yes, he is the more well-rounded guy. But I think Joshua Van is going to stifle all other avenues of victory for Brandon Royval. And he's just going to put the pressure on, win by a 29-28 decision or a 30-27 decision. Overall, just a match class from Joshua Van. And we're just going to all hop on his dick like crazy, man. And pause. But we're just all going to get behind Joshua Van after he wins this fight, man. And then he's going to have the biggest hype build up for his fight against Pantoja, dog. Moving on. Speaking of Pantoja, here he is. Alexandre Pantoja versus Kaikar France. And, okay. Kaikar France, yes, he did knock out Steve Erceg, who basically beat Pantoja, but I don't see a world where Kaikara wins this, man. I just see Alexandre Pantoja implementing his game plan, imposing his will, just absolutely just fighting his own fight that he's been fighting for the past two years, man. He's going to get out there. He's going to put the pressure on Kaikara. Kaikara is going to be afraid to take him down. The last time we seen Kaikara fight against somebody who has a kind of dominant ground game is Emil Arbazi. And I do remember that being a super close fight when it comes to the striking, because Kaikara just shuts down when he's afraid to get taken down and dominated on the ground, to where he's just not going to throw that much output on the feet. And I think Pantoja is going to be the guy with the more strikes landing on the feet. Pantoja, like we've seen against his last fight against Asakura, is going to implement those step through twos to step. There's a right hand step through body kick. I think we're going to see that a lot in this fight. Hook, body kick. And we're going to see a lot in this fight. We're going to see Pantoja mixing up the striking. We're going to see Pantoja overall just winning the exchanges. Kaikar France, yes, he does hit hard, but is he going to crack Pantoja's chin? No. Is Pantoja going to get Kaikar down? Yes. Is he going to dominate Kaikar France? Yes. Most likely. So Amir Albazi is not on the same level as Pantoja. Pantoja has the most dominant ground game in the division. And if I supposed to believe that Kaikar France, after knocking out Steve Erceg, who is kind of just had like the night, like the performance of like once in a lifetime performance for him against Pantoja. Yes, that was like a once in a lifetime performance, and he did take some shots at Pantoja. And after that, he just kind of, Kaikar France gets that knockout over him, and we're supposed to believe that, yes, he's going to beat Pantoja, or he's supposed to be competitive. But again, styles make matchups, and I think Pantoja is going to get it done. Pantoja's going to get it done, man. Pantoja is going to land the body kicks. Pantoja is going to get the back takes. He's going to get Kaikara to the ground. Kaikara is going to get his back took, and he's probably going to get submitted. So, honestly, I'm going to go second round submission for Alexandre Pantoja, bro. Pantoja by second round rear naked choke. I mean, Kaikara France, yes, he probably is been working on his grappling. He probably is going to look really good in this fight, but I just think Pantoja's X factor is his back taking ability and is his rear naked choke on the back, bro. So I got Alexandre Pantoja by submission. And yeah. Fights Joshua Van next after this win. Moving on. Ilia Aptodo versus Charles Oliveira. Holy shit. Okay. Ilia Topuria, Charles Oliveira. Ooh. All right. Let's see how long I'm going to talk about this. I don't think I'm going to talk about it for very long, but yeah. Charles Oliveira's plan for this fight is obviously to be on the on the front foot, forward pressure against Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria is not going to back up. And we're going to see these two just clash in the middle of the octagon. They're just going to clash. And it's just who's going to land the big shot out of the two that's going to put the other one on their ass or against the fence. And Charles Oliveira has been working on his knees from I've seen from his videos on Instagram. And Kenny landed a big knee up the middle against Ilia Topuria as Ilia Topuria like ducks down to do some head movement. Or thrush throw it overhand over the top, but Charles Oliveira times it perfectly with a perfect knee up the middle. That hurts Ilia. Yes, that could happen. I mean, the odds, they're kind of realistic. A -4 underdog in a championship fight, man. That just shows you how much stock Ilia has, because how everyone sees this fight going is Ilia Topuria just backing up Charles to the fence. And of course, doing what he does against the fence. Throws hooks to the body, hooks to the head, hooks to the head, hooks to the body, and finishes whoever he's fighting. Did it against Max. Did it against Volk. Did it against Jai Herbert. Overall, beat the shit out of Josh Emmett. But again, man, anytime Ilia Topuria had his big knockouts, it has been against the fence. And do I think Charles Oliveira is going to be against the fence on the back foot in this fight? At a certain point in this fight? Yes. Yes, I do believe that. The thing is, Charles Oliveira is probably going to surprise us. Because usually how it goes in MMA is that we're expecting this exact like outcome of a fight. Like, Oliveira's going to get slimed. But again, it always is something different. It always is like, oh, that was actually a little crazy. I couldn't believe Charles won. I thought he was going to get slimed. That's how it always goes in MMA. So I think this is going to be one of those fights. I think that Charles Oliveira, he has the big possibility of getting slimed, but what I think is going to happen is that Charles Oliveira is going to surprise us all and survive Ilia's power. I know that's crazy for me to say, but I think Charles Oliveira, bigger, and overall just felt, oh my God. But again, dude, it's just Charles Oliveira gets rocked. That's his thing. And I don't know. I don't know if he makes it chaotic enough to where Ilia Topuria is not going to land clean on him, and because Charles Oliveira is going to be so much on the forward pressure, so much in the clinch, so much trying to initiate the grappling, to where that's going to be the outcome. But oh my God, it's just, I don't know how this fight's going to go, because again, I don't want to count out Charles Oliveira altogether, man. You can't just count out Charles Oliveira altogether. You can't just count him out. You can't count out Charles Oliveira, because again, Ilia Topuria, he is moving up. Charles Oliveira, this is his division. And again, Charles Oliveira did look shit against Michael Chandler. But how does it always go in MMA? Someone has a shit performance, and then for some reason in their next fight, they have, and when everybody thinks they're going to lose, they're going to have this great performance that everybody's like, I did not expect that from so-and-so. I did not expect that from Charles Oliveira just to go out there and beat Ilia like that. I mean, he got rocked by Chandler in the 5th round. And yes, that is true. He did get rocked by Chandler in the 5th round, but for some reason, I just think the MMA universe is going to work this way. I think for somehow Charles Oliveira is going to look really good in this fight. He's going to look really good against Ilia Topuria. He's going to surprise a lot of us. He's going to probably hurt Ilia Topuria. I don't know how crazy that sounds, but just seeing how MMA usually goes from what I've seen, everyone's going to count some guy out. It's going to be overwhelmingly like, he's going to get slimed, he's going to get slimed, he's going to get this, he's going to that. And then Charles Oliveira's going to land something big against Ilia Topuria, and everyone will be like, oh my God. And everyone's going to be fucking shocked. Who's going to win the fight? Fuck. Okay, you'll get my answer to that later, but I just want to talk about this fight in general. Charles Oliveira, shoot a box, Muay Thai type style, light on his feet, puts that lead leg up in the air, looking to teep, looking to use his front kicks. Will he implement that against Ilia if he's smart? Yes. He's going to be lifting up his leg, trying to land those big teeps to the body, trying to keep Ilia away from him, trying to keep the distance, kind of trying to keep Ilia at distance and have Oliveira trying to use his advantage, which is his reach and his height. I think he will land big teeps on the body against Ilia Topuria. he will back Ilia. No, he won't back Ilia up. He's going to back Ilia off him. Ilia's going to be trying to march forward, trying to bully Charles Oliveira. And I think Charles Oliveira is going to land that cheap to the body. Is going to be trying to keep Ilia Topuria at bay. Yes, I think he's going to try that. And I think it'll somewhat work. I don't think we're going to see a big exchange immediately in the fight. I think we're going to see the first big exchange like a minute in. After these two are just measuring. Overall, just trying to look for each other, look for entries on each other. Charles Oliveira is going to be feinting that front leg, trying to feinting Ilia Topuria, feinting a head kick, feinting a front kick to the body. And I think Ilia is going to be trying to time when Charles Oliveira puts that leg down off a teep feint and just trying to go. And I think, yes, he'll catch Oliveira. Boom. Oh, big right hand immediately from Ilia Topuria. The Charles Oliveira, he's going to maintain his calmness. He's going to maintain calm, and he's going to go back to his game plan. Teeps to the body, keeping Ilia at range. And then eventually, I think after a few exchanges on the feet, and Oliveira lands a good right hand, Charles Oliveira is going to basically just rugby tackle Ilia Topuria against the cage. I think he's going to be doing the same thing like he did the Chandler. He's going to try to get Topuria on the back foot against the cage, which is going to be really hard. But I think Charles Oliveira is going to get a takedown against Ilia. I think Charles Oliveira can take Ilia down. And it's going to probably, I don't know, it could be an unexpected double against the fence or a trip. Or Charles Oliveira jumping guard on Ilia Topuria. That'll be really interesting. Charles Oliveira jumping guard on Ilia Topuria. So we get to see Ilia's actual ground game against somebody who is basically the most, like, what do we call it? The most recognized submission artist in the UFC. So that's going to be very interesting. Do I think Charles Oliveira can win on the ground? Yes. I do think that. Because again, Ilia Topuria, yes, he has been winning most of his fights by knockout, and he hasn't really been needing the grappling, but I have a feeling that when Charles Oliveira is going to try to take him there, Charles Oliveira is going to try to initiate that takedown and trying to overall just mix it up against Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria is obviously looking for the first round KO finish. And again, he is really good when it comes to mixing up the strikes and getting into the distance. But I think Charles Oliveira's kicks to the body at range, right hand over the top on Ilia, landing on Ilia. And I think Charles Oliveira is going to shoot for a takedown up against the fence, or they're going to be or for some reason Ilia is going to be kind of close to the fence. Charles Oliveira is probably going to feint a front kick and his overall push Ilia Topuria up against the fence and initiate start kneeing Ilia Topuria's thigh, trying to fill his strength when it comes to the grappling. And I think Charles Oliveira will get Ilia down, and I think Ilia will pop right back up. And overall, I think this will just totally overwhelm Ilia's mind. But I think Charles Oliveira is going to feel the strength, and he's going to want to go back there. And I think they're going to have some crazy exchanges on the feet after that. They're more going to open up. Charles Oliveira is going to open up more. And I think Charles Oliveira is going to be more patient. He's going to pick his shots a lot better. And Ilia is going to be trying to come in, trying to land big right hands, big step in left hook to the right hand on Charles Oliveira. Or as Charles Oliveira is circling out against the fence, like, I don't know if nobody remembers his combination with Ilia and Max. I think Ilia rushed in with a right hand to a right, with like a left hook to a right hand against Max when Max was circling out this way up against the fence. And as Max came out, so he ran like a 3-2, and then as Max was walking out, he landed a 3 while he circled into the hook. I don't know if nobody remembers that or saw that, but I think that is something Ilia Topuria will land on Charles Oliveira. And I think this one will hurt Charles Oliveira. I think Charles Oliveira will feel it. He'll go jelly-legged a bit. And Ilia is going to try to go for the finish. And I think Charles Oliveira is going to shoot for a takedown, and he'll get it. I think he'll get it. So, where am I going with this? Who I think is going to win? Oh, man. I think Charles Oliveira is going to get him down again after he gets hurt. And he's going to end up on top or on bottom against Ilia. And I think Charles Oliveira is going to land big ground and pound on Ilia Topuria. Oh, man. Do I think he's going to finish him? No. I think Ilia will get back up. That pretty good exchanges on the feet. But again, I think overall, Ilia's going to eventually find the shot. Oh, it's so hard to pick. It's so hard to choose who I think's going to win. Because these guys are both really good. I mean, obviously, Charles Oliveira has been the guy that we've seen that actually has weaknesses, which is the chin, and which was basically the chin and the wobbliness. And obviously, we've seen Ilia Topuria just look phenomenal, unbeatable. And I don't know. I just have a feeling that Charles Oliveira is going to have a lot of success, a good amount of success in this fight, and not get slimed. I don't know, man. I will be more sad seeing Charles lose. That's for sure. I will be more sad watching Charles lose. Who do I think is going to win? Okay. I think Ilia is going to win, but it's going to be a lot more competitive than people think. I think it's going to be a third round KO. Oh, my God. A third round KO. I can't. Okay. For some reason, I just cannot count out Charles Oliveira. I can't count him out. I just have a feeling, just seeing how MMA usually is, when it comes to like I said before, this guy's gonna get slammed. This guy's gonna get fucked up. This is unbelievable. I can't believe it. It's like when Steve Erceg fought Pantoja. Everyone thought that Pantoja was going to walk through him. And it seems like every time this is general consensus that this guy's going to get absolutely destroyed. And it's a pretty big, and it's usually like Khalil Rountree, Alex Pereira. He's going to get destroyed. And then Khalil has success. I think that's how this fight's going to go. But my brain's thinking that Ilia will eventually win. But again, I think Charles could win also. People are counting out Charles Oliveira. I don't know who to choose, man. I know this. You motherfuckers are probably like, bro, just fucking pick somebody. But it's so hard. I don't want to say I don't mind saying I picked against Charles Oliveira, but I just can't pick. I just can't rule him out entirely. Because again, this is Ilia. You know, he did knock out Max, who's just overall just a way better, just a better striker on the feet than Charles Oliveira. But Charles Oliveira is gonna possibly get Ilia down and try to mix it up. It could confuse Ilia, and Charles could have more success on the feet after that. Fuck. I think Ilia Topuria is going to win eventually in the third round. Ilia's going to win in the third round by KO, but in my heart, I want Charles Oliveira to win. In my heart, I'm picking Ilia Topuria, but who do I want to win? I want Charles Oliveira to win. Ilia Topuria, third round KO, and the more realistic thing for me. But who do I want to win? Who do I want to overcome the adversity? Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira will overcome the adversity. In my heart, this is what I believe that happens. In my delusional mind, this is what I believe will happen. Charles Oliveira overcomes the adversity, initiates his game plan, gets Ilia down, beats Ilia up on the ground, and finishes Ilia with the triangle. No, with the Dariush choke in the fourth round or in the third round. That's what I see in my heart, man. That's what I see in my heart. I want Charles Oliveira to win, but I am picking Ilia Topuria by third round KO. But I think my unrealistic, least likely way that I think Charles Oliveira wins is a submission in round 3. Submission in round 3 or 4 has beaten up Ilia on the ground, and I think Ilia's going to be trying to get back up to his feet after getting beat up on the ground, and then Charles Oliveira is going to latch up a Dariush choke. That's what I believe in my heart. But I honestly, Topuria is most likely going to win. Topuria by finish. But who do I want to win? Charles Oliveira by finish. That's my final prediction for this card, man. It's just such a hard fight to pick because I love both of the guys. Obviously, I love Toporia's boxing. I love Topuria. But again, I love Charles Oliveira. I love the story. I love his mentality. I love his like absolute faith in Christianity, and it's just so inspiring. Charles Oliveira is just so inspiring, and I just can't not hate him. I just cannot never not love Charles Oliveira, but I can never not love Ilia Topuria either. So it's like, but in reality, Ilia's gonna win. But in my heart, Charles wins by finish in the third round by Darce choke. Yeah. Those are my picks for UFC 317, Topuria versus Oliveira. Overall, it's not going to be a great card when it comes to the prelims. But when it hits, the early prelims actually, but when it hits that main card, man, this shit's going to be a banger. And I'm going to be streaming this Saturday live from when the card starts, from when the card ends. Every single fight on the card, I will be streaming. You will get my live reactions to all these fights. Live reactions to all the fights, live commentary on all these fights. And I will do in-depth analysis recap after the fights, per usual. But again, man, it's going to be a great fucking card, man. I can't wait. I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. So I'm going to end this video here, finally. I'm going to try to make a Charles Oliveira edit. I will learn how to make an edit, and I'm going to try to post it before the fights. But I think Charles Oliveira gets it done. I think realistically Ilia gets it done, but in my heart, Charles gets it done by finish. I'm rooting for Charles, and I'm rooting for Ilia, but I want Charles to win more than Ilia. So, yeah, man. Those are my final predictions, man. Thank you guys for watching. Love you guys that are watching the videos consistently. Thank you guys. And I'll see you on Saturday, dude. I'll see you guys on Saturday. Peace.